Good evening, and welcome to a beautiful night here at Chick Welch Field in Hopkinton, Massachusetts. Our contest this evening features an out-of-league matchup as the visiting St. John's Pioneers take on your hometown Hopkinton Hillers. Tonight is senior night, and we will be recognizing and honoring the senior athletes after the game. The Tri-Valley League is committed to the highest ideals of sportsmanship and the establishment of a healthy environment for interscholastic competition. The league will not tolerate negative statements nor actions directed towards competitors, game officials, or fans in attendance. Such actions include trash talking, taunting, and the berating of players, coaches, and officials. The Tri-Valley League has adopted a zero-tolerance policy. Please respect all decisions made by officials. Please respect fans, coaches, participants, and opponents alike. Thank you for your cooperation for making Hopkinton High School a fun and welcoming environment. And now, for tonight's starters. Starting with St. John's Pioneers. Number 3, Jack Donahue. Number 4, Luke DiFumeri. Number 6, Colin Desso. Number 9, Cam Hearn. Number 10, Ben Sharp. Number 11, Tim LaCroix. Number 14, Charlie Davidson. Number 19, Joe Franzoso. Number 22, Brad Quintadamo. And number 24, Owen Boss. And now, for your hometown Hopkinton Hiller starters, let's give them a round of applause. Starting with number 7, sophomore Luke McDonald. Number 8, sophomore Seth Jenkins. In goal tonight, junior number 10, Corey Bannon. Number 20, junior Dan Sage. Number 22, senior captain Will Abbott. Number 23, senior Jack Howard. Number 24, your face-off man tonight, junior Andrew Palico. Number 25, junior Dylan McBride. Number 77, sophomore Tyler Zanini. And on defense, senior captain number 91, Hunter Goodrow. Head coach tonight, head coach Dan Norton. And now, we ask all fans in attendance to please rise, remove your caps, and direct your attention to the north end zone as we play the national anthem. Good luck, go Hillers.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hopkinton Hillers Boys Varsity Lacrosse. It is senior night for the 10-6 Hillers as they welcome in the 12-4 St. John's Pioneers. Tom Nappy, Alex Walton on the call. Mike Tarosian is our cameraman. It is a beautiful evening here at Field 3, 83 degrees and sunny skies. Gorgeous weather for some senior night lacrosse as we get the starters in the middle. And you just heard Ryan Prescott announce the starters for both teams. But just in case you did not hear, we'll say them once again. For St. John's, it's Jack Donahue. Number 4, Luke D. Number 4, Luke D. Flumery. Number 6, Colin Desso. Number 9, Cam Hearn. Number 10, Ben Scharf. Number 11, Tim LaCroix. Number 14, Charlie Davidson. Number 19, Joe Franzoso. Number 22, Brad Quidadamo. And number 24, Owen Boss. For the Hopkinton Hillers, number 7, Luke McDonald. Number 8, Seth Jenkins. Number 10, Corey Bannon. Number 20, Dan Sage. Number 22, Will Abbott. Number 23, Jack Howard. Number 24, Andrew Paleko. Number 25, Dylan McBride. Number 77, Tyler Zanini. And number 91, Hunter Gaudreau. As we are set for some boys varsity lacrosse. It should be a great matchup here tonight against two teams that are heading to the postseason. And a whole lot of talent on both sides, as the Hillers are going to be the first to come away with it, working left to right across your screen. A nice job by Andrew Paleko to gain control for the Hillers. Pass over to Will Abbott. And now up behind the net they go. The Hillers girls won their senior night matchup over Holliston last night, 15-9. We were happy to bring you that game as well, and hopefully we'll have similar luck for the boys here tonight. As Abbott goes behind the net to McDonald. McDonald gets it back out in front, over to his right to Frank. There's Will Abbott, spins around the defender. Taking it around the net, looking for a shot here. He's going to kick it out on top, and it is handled by the Pioneers. Good feed from James Halloran over to Cam Hearn. And here comes St. John's. Coming across field, Tim LaCroix, the midfielder, getting into the attacking zone. Over the near side of Owen Boss. Now up behind the net, over to Jack Donahue. Nice job by Hunter Gaudreau getting the net in there to knock it away. It's going to be 4 quarters of play here for the boys lacrosse matchup, compared to 2 halves for the girls. One of the different rules for boys lacrosse compared to girls is they do play quarters. Over on the far side, Seth Jenkins. Abbott takes it across and fed Dylan McBride, who took a hard hit. St. John's able to get it back. Working up the far side. Around the net goes Owen Boss. Boss under control. Under 10 minutes left to play in the first. Over to Jack Donahue. Now back to Colin Desso. Now over to Tim LaCroix. Well, some back and forth defense to start this one off, Alex.
Oh, Timmy.
Jack Donahue, pass over to LaCroix. St. John's working around the net, over to Donahue, rushing in for the shot, and it's just wide to the right. Corey Bannon, the goalie for the Hillers, is all over that one. St. John's quick to inbound. Don't be surprised if this is a defensive affair tonight. 2 very solid teams as Tim LaCroix shoots that one wide. Coming in is Donahue. Big shot there, and that's a goal. Charlie Davidson on the goal for St. John's. It's a 1-0 Pioneers lead. Both teams going back and forth to start this one off, Alex, and St. John's gets the first goal.
Yeah, they're doing great. One thing I've noticed is a lot more fast-paced in the girls' game yesterday.
Certainly is. I'm getting the feeling that it's going to be more of a defensive night.
Yeah, this looking that way.
Rob McNamara on the face-off for St. John's up against Andrew Paleko, the junior for the Hillers. Paleko comes away with it once again. So good coming off the face-off. Griffin Zach with control. Or Jack Howard, excuse me. And now it is loose, picked up, the shot, and there's a Hillers goal. Luke McDonald gets Hopkinton on the board. It's 1-1.
Hopkinton goal scored by sophomore, number 7, Luke McDonald.
Well, maybe it won't be so defensive after all.
Yeah, they look pretty equally tied.
Hillers 10-6, St. John's 12-4. Both teams will be heading to the postseason. We're going to try to bring you as much playoff action as possible as well. Hillers have big expectations this year in the postseason. Their 3 experienced captains, Will Abbott, Hunter Goodrow. As we are set for the face-off, and of course DJ Sloan. Hillers led by head coach Dan Norton, who's done a terrific job with this program. It's picked up by Justin Jablanowski. Pass over to the near side as trying to pick it up is Jack Donahue. He was contested by Goodrow. Goodrow's going to knock him down. That's a loose ball. And it's picked up by Dan Sage for the Hillers. He loses it. It takes a push. That'll draw the whistle.
Both teams really having a hard time keeping the ball in their stick right now.
Well, some good physical play as expected. That was Will Abbott on the entry. Hopkinton working in the attacking zone. Fiore on the near side, back to Abbott. There's Abbott around a couple of Pioneers. He lost it.
Just needed to have thrown that a little bit earlier. But they got it back.
Yeah, back and forth we go. Connor Sullivan, the sophomore, with control. Pass back to Abbott. Connor Sullivan in the mid-zone. Takes it across back to the attacking zone. Now Luke McDonald working behind the net. Pass back over towards Abbott.
Great passing. I notice the Hillers have really good teamwork down in the attacking zone.
Abbott's going to come out and get a rest. Andrew Paleko back into the game. Paleko with control. Pass down to McDonald. McDonald up behind the net to Howard. There's Connor Sullivan. Now over to Matt Fiore. Back to McDonald behind the net. Hillers just looking for a shot here. The Pioneers defenders just crowding the crease. Connor Sullivan trying to rush in.
They were doing a really good job of moving consistently. They're slowing down a little bit. Ball's down.
Howard able to feed Maffiore. Back to Howard, now McDonald behind the net. McDonald contested by a defender, gives it up to Connor Sullivan.
Oh.
Looking for a shot there was Maffiore.
Gotta fight for it now.
That's gonna go out of play. 6:23 left to go in the first quarter. Pioneers will have the entry. It's a 1-1 game between these two playoff contending teams.
Hasn't been a lot of transitioning, not a lot of midfield play.
Over on the far side is Dee Flumery. Passes back up to Donahue. Now back to midfield over to LaCroix. There's Callahan. Now LaCroix once again. St. John's just trying to find an open opportunity to rush into the crease. Shot there. That's deflected by a defender. St. John's still with control. That's Jack Donahue with possession.
Ooh,
Donahue's
great defense.
very good defense. He was trying to sneak it in there. Hillers ready for it. And now Devin Kelly going hard after it for the Hillers.
Oh, 11's open. Who's going to 11?
Flumery able to pick it up for the Pioneers. Taking Callahan with it. Pass back over to Tim LaCroix. Now rushing in is Owen Boss. He feeds DeFlumery, and that draws a whistle as DeFlumery falls to the ground. It's going to be Hiller's ball.
Looks like the goalie's going to take it. Hillers did a great job of keeping St. John's out of there.
They certainly did. The pressure's on, but the Hillers are stepping up. As Corey Bannon releases it up the far side to Hunter Goodrow, rather. Goodrow creeping up the sideline, and we get a whistle as he was paired up with Rob Wickstrom. And looks like we're going to have a timeout with 4:34 left to go in the first quarter. The Hopkinton Hillers, St. John's Pioneers are tied at 1 apiece. You're tuned in to Boys Varsity Lacrosse on HCAM. Off the timeout, 4:34 left to go in the first quarter. It is a 1-1 game between the Hopkinton Hillers and the St. John's Pioneers as the sun starts to go away a little bit. A couple clouds covering up the sun right now. Lights starting to come on here at Hopkinton High School at David M. Hughes Stadium. Hillers working in the attacking zone. Will Abbott just looking for the shot here.
Great shot. Oh my God, that was good.
Just like he does in hockey, sneaks it right by the goaltender.
He just shot it right down the middle past everybody.
All kinds of zip on that one, and it's a 2-1 Hillers lead.
Sullivan with the assist.
Alex, you didn't see Will Abbott play hockey this season, but it's just like
It's a
hockey.
shame.
Just all kinds of power, able to sneak it right by. A 2-1 lead for the Hillers. Clock stopped at 4:16 left to go in the first quarter.
You know what I love is how evenly matched these two teams are. Yesterday's game was great, but the Hillers did just smash the other team.
They certainly did. That game was not expected to go like that either. Both Holliston and the Lady Hillers going to the playoffs, and the Hopkinton girls clinched a playoff spot with their win against Holliston last night for their senior night game. Sandra Palaco's going to turn it around, and here comes Hopkinton once again.
Great teamwork down the middle.
Zach Frank with possession along the far side. Goes back to midfield to Abbott. Abbott, pass over to Sullivan. Now behind the net. Kick out by Maffiore. Back to Abbott on the blue line. There's Sullivan. Now Abbott once again. Over to Zach Frank. And a bit of an errant pass there by Connor Sullivan.
Hillers get it back.
Yeah, nice job by Zach Frank getting to that one.
Yeah, you know what I've noticed? They're great at passing around the fan, but they're not so great at just cutting through and creating space in there. Got a lot of people just kind of waiting in the middle.
There's a shot and a good save by the St. John's goaltender Cam Hearn. Will Abbott on the shot. Here comes the Pioneers on the attack.
Hey, Timmy!
Below 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Over to Tim LaCroix. Now back to Colin Dessa. Back to LaCroix looking for the shot, and he zips that one over the net.
It's Still going to be St. John's ball.
I think so. I believe Donahue is right near the line. Jack Donahue will start off with possession for the Pioneers. They're trying to sneak one in here.
Oh, didn't quite manage it. St. John's ball again.
Yeah, good job by Owen Boss getting towards that back line.
Oh, St. John's being aggressively double teamed by Hillers there.
Yeah, Hunter Gaudreau all over Owen Boss, trying to get the turnover. The defenseman for the Hillers. Pass over to D. Flumery. D. Flumery around the net, the shot, and it's in. 2-2. Luke De Flumery, the sophomore, with that goal.
Pioneer goal scored by number 4, Luke DeFumeri.
Really?
You said DeFumeri, I said DeFumeri.
Paleko in there for the Hillers. 2-2 game. As you would expect between these two
Hillers right off
teams,
the
a
bat.
close physical matchup. Here's Andrew Paleko. Pass over to McDonald. McDonald,
Fight for it.
yeah, he briefly lost, but able to hold on. Now St. John's has the turnover. Ben Scharf was able to intercept a pass.
Push it, leg. Push it, push it.
Cam Hearn, the pass over to the near side to Joe Franzoso. Franzoso will pass down over
It's
to
on the
Colin
ground.
Desso.
Free ball, everybody's fighting for it. St. John's picks it up.
Owen Boss pass to the sideline of LaCroix. Tim LaCroix with possession, being watched by Tyler Zanini. Approaching a minute left to go in the first quarter. Back to the blue line he goes to Charlie Davidson. There's Desso rushing in.
Ooh,
Surrounded by Hillers. That's on the ground. Picked up by the goaltender, Corey Bannon. Desso was trying to just knock that one in.
St. John's going straight for the goalie.
Now, if the ball's on the ground, can you just knock it in the net?
Yeah, as long as it's outside the circle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was almost able to do. Ooh, hard hit there. We'll have it. Letting Colin Desso have it.
Brilliant play by Hillers.
What a physical game we got brewing here between the Pioneers and the Hillers. 37 seconds and counting left in the first quarter as Will Abbott trying to rush into the attacking zone. Here comes Will Abbott on the charge, looking for the shot, and it's just wide to the right. Near the back line was Luke McDonald. Play on, the official says.
Just 25 seconds left. Can Hillers make the goal? Oh, so close. St. John's just going to run it back up the field.
That was a good shot by Dylan McBride, as now charging up the near side. Ben Scharf will cut across. Pass over to Jack Donahue. There's Donahue with the shot, and a good
Saved.
save by Corey Bannon. And that will do it for the first quarter. After 1 quarter of play, it's the St. John's Pioneers 2, the Hopkinton Hillers 2. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers Boys Varsity Senior Night Lacrosse on HCAM. Set for the second quarter. It is Hopkinton 2, St. John's 2. We are underway. The Pioneers with control, working left to right across your screen. D. Flumery with possession. Now working on the left side of the net is Donahue. He'll take it up behind the net. Back to De Flumery, the shot, and it's deflected by Bannon. Corey Bannon has been very busy in net today for the Hillers. Some good saves, though, for Corey Bannon, Alex.
Absolutely.
Passed over to Davidson, and now it's back to LaCroix. And there's a
Oh,
goal.
it's in.
That was Owen Boss, the sophomore, lacing that one through. It's 3-2 Pioneers.
Owen Boss for the Pioneers.
Let's take a look at the goals so far. The first goal of the game is Charlie Davidson for St. John's, then Luke McDonald for the Hillers, and then Luke DeFlumery for St. John's, and then Will Abbott tied things up at 2, and now Owen Boss puts the Pioneers ahead with 11:19 left in the second quarter. It is Andrew Paleko up against James Halloran for St. John's. Tom Nappy, Alex Walton on the call, Mike Terosian, our cameraman. And we are certainly happy to bring you some Hopkinton Hillers boys varsity lacrosse. The first boys varsity lacrosse matchup we've had on HCAM. And we're going to try to get you as much lacrosse during the postseason as possible. Of course, when they're on this field, it's a whole lot easier.
Oh, St. John's trying to be sneaky, dropped on the floor.
Yeah, some good physical play on the far side as that one's flipped up by Zanini. He lost it, and we're going to get a whistle. I think we're going to get a checking call here from the official. Hillers are going to have it. Gaudreau picks it up, and here we go.
Oh, missed. St. John's picks it up.
Turnover there by the Hillers. Now coming down his neighbor. Pushed out of bounds. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout. 10:42 left to go in the second quarter. It's the St. John's Pioneers 3, the Hopkinton Hillers 2. You're tuning in to Boys Varsity Lacrosse on HCAM. 10:42 left to go in the second quarter. Off the timeout. It'll be the St. John's Pioneers with possession, coming in from the far side. Feed behind the net. Over to Owen Boss. Now to Quidadamo as they go around the perimeter here. Over in the crease is Boss. He'll come back out. Looking for a shot.
Ooh, far.
Yeah, that one just over by Jack Donahue. Pioneers have maintained control throughout much of this second quarter. Hillers certainly need to get some momentum in their favor as Donahue briefly loses this one, contested by Gaudreau. Fight for it.
Oh, they got it back.
Yeah, Donahue able to pick it up. Down in front, looking for a shot.
Oh, great save.
Bannon again.
Fighting for it right on the goal circle. Still fighting for it. Come on, Hillers. Oh, they got it. Yes. Oh, no, they dropped it. Oh, it's just everywhere.
Well, some back and forth action there. I'm not quite sure who number 4 is. We'll have to get a name for him, not listed on the roster. It looks like it's Patrick Murphy for the Hillers. There he is, Patrick Murphy, number 4. Also wears number 19 sometimes, the senior defenseman. .36 left to go in the second quarter. Hillers are going to have possession and an opportunity to go on the attack and try to tie it back up. A 3-2 lead for St. John's. Pass over to McDonald. Tested by the defender. Takes it around the net. Looking up towards Will Abbott. He's being contested heavily by Franzoso. He's able to get it to his left over to Curtis Terry. Now it's back to Sullivan. And it's Connor Sullivan with it, the sophomore, letting the attackers get regrouped. in the attacking zone. Here he goes to Abbott. Now it's back over to the far sideline. Rushing in, looking for perhaps a shot. Goes behind the net instead. Around the perimeter we go. There's Will Abbott. Pass over to Connor Sullivan, looking for a shot.
Wide.
It looks like the goaltender might have got a piece of that. Miller's on the entry. Here we go. Little wrister there by Sullivan. Loose ball picked up by St. John's. Able to get to it was Quidadamo. We'll go back to the goaltender, Cam Hearn. Now to the near side to Ben Scharf.
Ooh,
Scharf down
catch.
the field. Tim LaCroix jumping up and pulling that one down. Over to Colin Desso now. Just hopping in the game, Charlie Davidson for St. John's. Davidson back to LaCroix. Now back to Davidson. Now over on the far side of Donahue. Jack Donahue trying to get around Gaudreau. And we get a whistle. Hillers with possession. Hustling up the near side is Zach Frank, and he's going to try to get it positioned well in the attacking zone. Pass back to Connor Sullivan. Abbott flips it back to McDonald. Actually, that was Devin Kelly, or Stephen Maffiori, rather, he flipped it back to. Around the net to Jack Howard. Howard takes it out towards the near side. There's Connor Sullivan, the sophomore. Approaching 7 minutes left in the first half.
Miller's just looking for somebody who's open.
Around the net, McDonald. Takes it out to Maffiori, back to Abbott.
Come on, guys, cut across. Let's go.
Abbott behind the net over to Howard. Hillers having a tough time trying to establish a shot here.
They have to keep moving. Everybody stop moving.
Amos!
And it's a loose ball. And that was Luke McDonald going up against Owen Ryan. And McDonald looked like he briefly had it, but then ended up out of bounds. And to save the possession, we get a timeout call with 6:26 left to go in the second quarter. It's the St. John's Pioneers leading the Hopkinton Hillers 3-2 on HCAM. 6:26 left to go in the second quarter off the timeout. A 3-2 lead for the St. John's Pioneers. Hillers with possession. Maffiore over to Abbott. Back to Maffiore. Now down to Connor Sullivan. Up behind the net, a shot there. Great save by Cam Hearn. Got to give him credit there. It was a good shot by Dylan
great
McBride.
interception by Hillers.
Yeah, Hillers get it right back.
Right back to the goal. Come on.
And that's what you got to do when you're going up against a good goaltender. We're going to have a penalty here. Flag has been thrown. Delayed penalty coming in. Zach Frank with possession. Up the sideline of Sullivan. Abbott. We're behind the net now. Around the perimeter they go. There's a shot.
Too far.
Yeah, a little bit too much mustard on that one from Stephen Maffiori. It looks like, I believe the penalty is going to be on St. John's. So they are going to be short a man. St. John's short a man, big opportunity for the Hillers. Behind the net over to Devin Kelly. That's out to Zach Frank. Abbott. Pass down to Connor Sullivan.
Ooh, Interception by St. John's.
Here comes the Pioneers. Ben Scharf with possession, rushing upfield.
Oh, come on.
Scharf over to Donahue. And it looks like we will get another timeout with 4:52 left to go in the second quarter. The St. John's Pioneers leading the Hopkinton Hillers 3-2 on HCAM. Off the timeout, 4:52 left to go in the second quarter. A 3-2 lead for the St. John's Pioneers. St. John's has possession off the timeout. Tim LaCroix up the far side. We have a delayed penalty here. I believe this one's going to be against the Hillers. Going to put Hopkinton short of man. Donahue with possession. Pass back over to Owen Boss. Owen Boss with the only goal in this second quarter for either team. Takes it behind the net. Being contested by Zanini.
Ooh.
That's out in front.
Ooh.
He was tripped up trying to rush the shot in. That was Colin Desso. And it looks like the Hillers going to be short a man after the delayed penalty. St. John's back to full strength, and now they'll have the one-man advantage. Working in the attacking zone. Owen Boss pass back to Charlie Davidson. Now to D. Flumery. Up behind the net to Donahue. Jack Donahue rushes around and tries to sneak the shot in, but it's a little bit over the net. Corey Bannon ready for it. Both goaltenders have been terrific here today. Cam Hearn for St. John's and for the Hillers, Corey Bannon.
Still going to be St. John's ball. Come on, Hillers.
There's Davidson.
Oh, it's on the ground. Come on, guys.
And it's picked up by Maffiore. Up the far side he goes. He's able to feed Jenkins, Seth Jenkins.
Great stick work.
Seth Jenkins rushed off real quickly, and now with possession, Luke McDonald works around the net and then feeds Dylan McBride. Now it's back to Maffiore over on the far side of Connor Sullivan. Now behind the net to McDonald. There's Will Abbott trying to rush in looking for the shot. And Abbott unable to find the shot, was trying to feed Dylan McBride, but a little bit too much zip on that one. Hillers will have possession. Approaching 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Oh,
there's a shot and a goal. None other than Will Abbott, or excuse me, actually, that time it was Dylan McBride with the goal, the junior. But Dylan McBride set up nicely in the crease. Able to sneak that one in with 3:01 left. First goal for either team in more than 8 minutes.
Hopkinton goal scored by number 25, Dylan McBride.
It'll be Andrew Paleko up against Rob McNamara in the center circle. These two teams
Luke McDonald with the assist.
just having a great back and forth battle. This is the kind of match you want on a senior night.
It's definitely come down to that last quarter.
Defensive affair so far.
Hiller steals it.
Andrew Paleko with some nice stick work on the face-off once again, and he'll rush down into the attacking zone. Pass over to Connor Sullivan. Up behind the net to McDonald. Over to Dylan McBride. Bride to Abbott. Abbott over to the far side to Connor Sullivan. Now behind the net to McDonald. to Abbott. Over to Maffiore. That one just out of the reach of McDonald, and also getting the net on it was Franzoso for St. John's. Abbott a pass back to Maffiore. Maffiore to Connor Sullivan. Sullivan looking for the shot here, wide to the left.
Oh, almost hit some of the crowd there.
Well, looks like the Hillers having a little bit of trouble getting someone set up in the crease.
Just haven't quite gotten that break yet.
Donald to Abbott, over to Maffiore. Back to Abbott, dodgeball at the shot. Now to Connor Sullivan. Around the defenseman he goes, and that one is going to be scooped up by Cam Hearn. Good save there. Cam Hearn pass over to Franzoso. There's Franzoso. Down to DeFleumery. DeFleumery with possession, looking for a shot. He's working up against Zach Frank.
Hey, Luke!
Pass back over to Luke Anastasi. Now to Bovier. And back to the far side to Owen Boss.
Let's go, Luke! Let's go, Luke! Hey, Luke!
Luke Anastasi rushing in. Up against Pat Murphy. St. John's having trouble maintaining possession in the attacking zone. There's a shot.
Great save.
Great save by Corey Bannon. Attempted shot by Tegan Callahan. 43 seconds left to go in the first half. It's a 3-3 game between the Hopkinton Hillers and the St. John's Pioneers. St. John's 12-4 on the season. The Hillers 10-6. Both teams heading to the playoffs. But of course, both teams trying to grab a nice win here today to up their seeding in the postseason.
Let's go, uppers!
Pioneers on the attack. Back to Davidson. Oh, Boss thought about the shot. Davidson with a shot. Another great save by Bannon. Loose ball. Picked up by the Hillers. Able to get to it, Zach Frank. And we get a whistle as he's heading over to the far side up against DeFleumery. 22 seconds left. Hillers have it.
Oh,
Some
yeah!
big contact there.
Keep it. Come on, Hillers.
Zach Frank knocked to the ground. We're going to get a flag. Zach Frank and DeFleumery going at it.
That was messy.
Big hit there. That'll draw the yellow every time. You can get physical, but you can't get too physical. It looks like St. John's might have the man advantage.
Here you go, Rob! Here you go, Rob!
Or actually, it looks like it's going to be 9-on-9 for the moment.
Come on, Hillers.
Another big check there by Abbott, and he scores!
Great shot.
Will Abbott giving the shoulder and netting the goal. His second goal of the day comes with 10 seconds left in the second quarter. And it is a 4-3 Hillers lead. Will Abbott says, you're going to get physical with us, I'll get physical with you. And rushes into the attacking zone. And a beauty of a goal.
10 seconds left on the clock. Both teams are just going to either try and just waste it or rush it down to their goals.
Justin, get this
Well, the
ball.
way this match is going, I think they're
Oh,
going to
you,
rush
Justin.
down and try to
Oh,
get
you,
a shot
Justin.
off.
Hey, Jeb.
These two teams, they are certainly playing like they are hungry to come away with this one. And you can see some attitude out there on both sides, which is making this game a whole lot more fun. These two teams, they're playing like they don't like each other very much, and that's what makes for the best lacrosse matches.
Absolutely.
Could have a good rivalry forming here between the St. John's Pioneers and the Hopkinton Hillers. Clock is stopped at 9 seconds. Will Abbott, 2 goals in the first half for the Hillers. Good battle in the center circle. Andrew Paleko had it for a moment, but then Justin Jablanowski was able to take it. That'll do it for the second quarter. The Hillers net 2 in the second, St. John's nets 1, and at the half, it is Hopkinton 4, St. John's Pioneers 3. You are tuned in Hopkinton Hillers Boys Varsity Lacrosse Senior Night 2018 on HCAM. Second half coming up next. Welcome back to David M. Hughes Stadium. We are ready for the second half between the Hopkinton Hillers and the St. John's Pioneers. It's Senior Night Boys Varsity Lacrosse. The Hillers off to a 4-3 lead as we enter the second half. It was 2-2 after the first quarter, and then the Hillers outscoring St. John's in the second quarter 2-1. Will Abbott with a pair of goals for the Hillers. Dylan McBride and Luke McDonald have also chipped in for Hopkinton on the scoreboard. And the Hillers with a nice lead heading into this second half, but a long way to go between these two very good teams. And we are underway in the third quarter. St. John's with possession, working right to left across your screen. Scotty Mackin, a hometown hero for all the Hillers fans, delivering a nice motivational message at the half. Got the crowd pumped up. That shot is out of play. Owen Boss on the entry for St. John's. Pioneers on the attack. Looking for a shot here is LaCroix. LaCroix was trying to sneak by Luke McDonald, but great defense by the sophomore. It's back to Charlie Davidson. Now LaCroix once again. Tim LaCroix, the sophomore, one of the key midfielders for the Pioneers. There's Jack Donahue looking for a shot here. That's right in there just by Bannon. And Jack Donahue ties things up at 4 apiece. 11-12 left to go in the third.
Pioneer goal scored by number 3, Jack Donahue.
Well, that's been the theme of the night so far. Hillers score, then Pioneers respond. And they have responded once again, and we are knotted at 4.
I think it's funny that most of the shots that go in are just straight down the middle through about as many people as they can find.
It's the shots they get the mustard on, because these two goaltenders have been extremely solid on both sides. Andrew Paleko up against Rob McNamara. Paleko has had big success all night in the center circle, and he has success once again. Here comes Paleko. Cross midfield after a check from DeFlumery. Now pass over to Sullivan. Connor Sullivan up behind the net. Now over to Abbott. Abbott down to Weinstock. Jake Weinstock, Will Abbott, of course, two key members of the Hillers hockey team, which had a terrific run this past winter. Abbott picks it up, met with some contact from Kevin Neighbor. And now Abbott is able to keep possession and get it over to Sullivan. Connor Sullivan's going to lose it. As coming down on Sullivan was Franzoso.
Great defense by St. John's. Hiller's just trying to fight for it back.
He was just able to knock the net right out of his hand.
Everybody's rushing to mark up.
Then Scharf lost it. Out of play it goes. Hillers have possession.
Both teams really stepping it up for the final 2 quarters.
Wind starting to pick up. The sun is starting to dwindle away. It'll certainly get colder throughout the course of this second half. Here comes Will Abbott into the attacking zone. Feed behind the net over to McDonald from Connor Sullivan. McDonald out to Abbott, back to Weinstock.
Come on, Hillers.
Over
Let's go.
to Sullivan. Now to McDonald. Around the net. Over to Abbott, looking for the shot, and it's just wide to the right.
Too wide. Whose ball is that going to be?
That
St.
will
John's
be
looks like.
Pioneers' possession. 9:25 and ticking left in this third quarter. A 4-4 game between the Hillers and St. John's.
Both teams just not want to give an inch.
Rushing up field is Owen Ryan. Here comes Ryan into the attacking zone up the far side. Pass back over to Desso. Desso able to find Donahue. Donahue trying to sneak by the defender. Back to Desso he goes. Now over to Davidson. Davidson looking for the shot, trying to sneak around the defender. And he does get the shot off. It looked like it hit the side post, and here comes the Hillers. Rushing upfield, Zach Frank.
Oh,
Frank,
yes! Oh, my
good
God.
feed there. That shot
Oh,
just wide to the left
just
from Luke
wide.
McDonald.
That would have been brilliant. Still Hillers' ball. Come on, Hillers.
Abbott pass back to midfield to Weinstock.
On the ground. Come on, Hillers. Pick it up. Pick it up. Oh.
Pioneers have it for the moment. Kevin Neighbor met with all kinds of contact, knocked to the ground, but he was just able to get it away to Rob Wickstrom. Here comes Franzoso. Franzoso up the near side for the Pioneers.
Great
Knocked out of the
defense
net.
by Hillers.
Hunter
Come on,
Gaudreau
let's pick it up.
getting
Let's go.
the net in there.
Great pass. Straight to goal. Straight to goal. Oh.
McDonald tripped up as he was trying to get the shot off. And it will be St. John's possession.
All right, Hillers. Come on.
Go, Tim!
Pioneers working on getting into the attacking zone. Here comes LaCroix. Pass over to Desso. Desso with possession. Back to LaCroix. Now to Davidson. Up the sideline to DeFlumery. Trying to rush in is Owen Boss. Up behind the net he goes to DeFlumery. Knocked away from the loose ball is Zach Frank. Pioneers able to keep possession. Now the Hillers have it. Zach Frank comes away with it, and we'll get a whistle. Oh, what's that whistle about? Looks like it's going to go in favor of the Pioneers. Charlie Davidson over to Colin Desso. Now it's down to Donahue. 6:28 and counting left in the third quarter. 4-4 score. There's Desso, meets up with a Hiller, and the shot is going to get just wide, and it was Corey Bannon able to keep it away. Hillers with possession, and now it's taken away as Luke McDonald was trying to pass upfield. Franzoso was there to take it away. Here comes the Pioneers once again on the attack.
Just drops the ball.
Yeah, it was Donahue looking for the shot there. Now the Hillers have it back. We got a delayed penalty as Hunter Gaudreau rushes upfield. Trying to swipe it in was Luke McDonald. Out of play it goes. I think that's going against the Pioneers. After Donahue had to take it away, there was some frustration there, and he kind of flicked the net down pretty hard. And the official talking to him right now. So I think Hillers might have the advantage here. And that appears to be the case. So a big opportunity for Hopkinton. They'll have the man advantage on the penalty call. Zach Frank giving the flag back to the official. Hillers will be on the attack. Good crowd on hand tonight, Alex, and they're certainly really getting into this game.
Absolutely.
Good turnout from St. John's as well. Will Abbott with possession, pass back over to Maffiori. Now to Sullivan. Now back to McDonald. Now Sullivan once again. Trying to swipe it across to Abbott. It's loose. And going into the mid-zone to pick it up is Zach Frank. Back to Maffiori. Now Abbott. Frank thought about the shot. Sullivan passes it up behind the net to McDonald to go around the horn. Hillers just trying to find any kind of opening to try to sneak a shot in there, and they want to be smart with their possessions. They don't want to give this ball back anytime soon. Over to Sullivan, and he was trying to hit Dylan McBride, who was trying to sneak into the crease. St. John's able to get it back as Ben Scharf works his way up the far side. Here he comes into the attacking zone. Scharf around a couple of defenders, the shot, and that is going to be wide.
Looks like it's going to be St. John's ball.
It will indeed be Pioneers' ball. St. John's with the only goal so far in this third quarter. 4:33 and counting left to go.
St. John's drops it.
Yeah, Owen Boss lost it, and a couple of Hillers there to try to pick it up. St. John's is going to maintain possession, I believe. And it looks like some substitutions for the Pioneers. It's going to be Hillers' ball, it looks like. .427 left to go. A 4-4 game between the Hillers and Pioneers. Will Abbott will start things off for the Hillers. Tom Nappy, Alex Walton on the call. Mike Terosian on camera to bring you Hopkinton Hillers Boys Varsity Lacrosse Senior Night action. Will Abbott up the near side, a hard check from D. Flumery, but it doesn't phase Abbott. Flag comes in as well. Abbott over to Frank. I'm guessing that's going to go against the Flumery. That was a high check. Sullivan up behind the net, over to Maffiori. And sneaking it in, Dylan McBride, the junior, with his second goal of the day. 5-4 Hillers.
Great shot.
4:02 left to go. And the junior gets it done.
I'm sure this is going to come down to one intense ending.
And also Luke McDonald was heavily involved with that goal as well. That was just a good attack there by the Hillers.
Scored by Dylan McBride. Stephen Maffiori with the assist.
Stephen Maffiori with the assist for the Dylan McBride goal. McBride also had the third Hillers goal of the day. It was back in the second quarter with 3:01 left. just before halftime. And the Hillers had the go-ahead with 10 seconds left by Will Abbott. St. John's now feeling a little desperation to get some momentum going. DeFlumery along the sideline. Over to Desso. Back to LaCroix. Tim LaCroix is going to put one in.
Right over their heads.
Snuck right by Zach Frank and was able to snipe it in past Corey Bannon. And just like that, we're tied back up. 5 apiece.
Number 11, Tim LaCroix.
St. John's has had 5 different scores today. Well, the back and forth continues between these two playoff-bound teams. Andrew Paleko has had success in the center circle against Rob McNamara all night. Let's see if he has success here. And St. John's comes up with it. Loose ball. And we're going to get a flag here as meeting up was Jablanowski and Paleko. I believe it's going to go against the Hillers. And St. John's will have the man advantage. 5-5, 3:17 left. The Pioneers, they haven't had a lead, or actually they haven't had a lead since the first goal of the game. Pioneers did have the first goal by Charlie Davidson, but since then it's been the Hillers on top for the most part, as this one is way over the top by Charlie Davidson. Less than 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Pioneers with the man advantage. Great save. Corey Bannon getting it done.
Hillers has the ball.
Owen Boss was right in his grill on that shot, but Corey Bannon able to deny Boss. And Hunter Gaudreau came away with the loose ball. Now with possession, it's Dan Sage. He'll pass over to Zach Frank, and Frank lost it. We'll get all kinds of whistles as Trevor Vigent was in there trying to get to it for St. John's. No flags.
What are you calling?
The official's going to have a chat. It's looking like the Pioneers are going to have it, and they will. Coming down is Donahue. Over to LaCroix.
St. John's is trying to push their score over the edge right before the end of this quarter.
These Hillers defenders, they are holding up nicely. St. John's trying to put all kinds of pressure on as LaCroix gets that shot off, but we get a whistle. Another save there by Bannon. Hillers will have it. And we get a flag. Looks like some extracurricular activity. Delayed penalty. Here comes Zach Frank. Zach Frank.
Get one more goal in before the end of the quarter.
Affiori along the near side. And he met up with Wickstrom, and Wickstrom doesn't like that whistle.
Hey, Rob!
We'll have to see what the call is here. Well, Abbott coming back into the game for the Hillers. I think there was a call against both teams, if I'm not mistaken.
I have no idea. I'm so lost when it comes to these delayed penalties.
The Hillers still have 10 out there, and it's going to be the Hillers, it looks like, with the one-man advantage. And it is. Big opportunity for Hopkinton as Abbott feeds Connor Sullivan. Now behind the net to Maffiore. Trying to get it back out to Abbott, and he's quick to pick it up, showing off the wheels there to get to it. Connor Sullivan up behind the net to Maffiore. Pass by Paleko, back to Abbott. Now Sullivan. Shot there just wide to the left by Dylan McBride. Dylan McBride already with 2 goals today, looking for a third there. Hillers will maintain possession. 1:04 and counting left to go in the third. It is Hopkinton 5, St. John's 5. Well, Abbott tripped up, but is able to hold on and gets the shot off. That one a little too much gas. Hillers will have the entry. Evan Kelly up the sideline at Paleko, now over to Abbott. Trying to set up a shot for McBride, and McBride lost it on the ground. A couple players for both teams in there. Coming away with it is Paleko. Andrew Paleko passed back over to Will Abbott. And now to Connor Sullivan. Around a couple Pioneers, now back to Abbott looking for the shot here. And he swipes that one out of the ballpark. 24 seconds left, Hillers on the entry. Luke McDonald takes it in.
20 seconds remaining.
Donald swipes it back to Abbott. Up top to
10
Connor
seconds.
Sullivan.
Hey, Cam! Send it!
And it was a good save there by Cam Hearn to keep this a tie game. And he sent it all the way upfield, hoping that the Pioneers could score a last-second goal. But after 3 quarters of play, it is going to be St. John's 5, Hopkinton 5. The fourth quarter coming up next on HCAM. You are tuned in to Boys Varsity Lacrosse Senior Night. 5-5 as we start the fourth quarter between the St. John's Pioneers and the Hopkinton Hillers. 12 more minutes left to go to decide who will walk away with the win. Of course, could also end in a tie. And if this game keeps going the way it has been going, that certainly would not surprise me. Tom Nappy, Alex Walton on the call, Mike Terosian on camera, and we are ready for the fourth quarter. Andrew Paleko up against Rob McNamara. This is going to go in favor of the Hillers. Will Abbott with possession. Hopkinton working right to left across your screen. Abbott pass up to Maffiore. Over to Howard.
Easy!
And he dropped that one, and getting to it was Ben Scharf. Scharf being contacted by Dylan McBride and stolen away. Shot, yes! Jack Howard, the steal, the shot, and the goal, and the Hillers have the lead.
Jack Howard with the interception puts it in to put the Hillers up 6-5.
11:28 left to go in the fourth. Jack Howard with a beauty of a steal and a goal. So far, that right there is my play of the game, Alex.
That was beautiful.
That is exactly how you want to start off the fourth quarter. Doesn't get any better than that. going to go St. John's way. Owen Ryan with possession. It's back to LaCroix. Tim LaCroix takes it back to midfield. Trying to sneak around Kelly. Pass over to the far side now to Donahue. Gets it back to LaCroix. And now it's Desso. Here comes Desso rushing in. Did not want to shoot with Will Abbott right in front of him. No Bryant with possession. Now it's Donahue. Back to LaCroix. LaCroix is able to fake out the defender, gets the shot, and that's a goal. Tim LaCroix netting his second goal of the day. He had the 5th St. John's goal as well. And now he scores the 6th. And we are tied up at 6 apiece. 10 minutes, 33 seconds left to go. Good move by LaCroix to get around the defender.
This is going to be a very exciting ending.
It certainly will. The fans getting their money's worth here on senior night. That is for sure.
Let's go, Chad!
Ball pops out. St. John's has it. Here comes Owen Ryan.
Look top!
Owen Ryan trying to get around Zanini. He was able to pass it across. With possession, it's Jack Donahue as he was letting Owen Ryan get off the field for his substitution. 6-6. St. John's trying to take the lead here. Great save by Corey Bannon. Bannon's going to run this out.
This is dangerous.
Way out of net he goes. He better hold on.
Oh, boy.
Able to get it up the field. Corey Bannon showing off the aggression there. And now the Hillers have it in the attacking zone. Dylan McBride around the net. Here comes McBride. Pass over to Abbott. 9.5 and counting left to go in this 4th quarter. A 6-6 game. Connor Sullivan up the far side. Over to Jack Howard. Back to Sullivan.
Hey, Ocho!
Sullivan to Abbott. Here's Sullivan trying to spin around the defender, able to get around and is met up with a couple more Pioneers. Hangs on the shot, and that is scooped up by Hearn. It's been a matchup of the goaltenders tonight, Alex.
Very, very exciting.
Taking Callahan up the near sideline. Leaves it out into the attacking zone. Another great save by Corey Bannon. We get a delayed penalty.
These goalkeepers really proven their worth tonight.
They certainly have. Donahue with possession for the Pioneers. Up against Gaudreau. Trying to sneak around. He's trying to feed someone up top, but Zanini able to get to it. But now we'll have the penalty come into effect. 8:21 left to go. A 6-6 game. Let's see who this one favors. Looks like it's going to favor St. John's. And it will. Pioneers have the man advantage and the ball. The officials talking things over. Coach wants an explanation. I don't think Coach Norton liked the call. Tim LaCroix starts off with possession for the Pioneers. LaCroix to Davidson. Got a great sunset in the background as well. Out in front, the shot, another great save. Corey Bannon with 3 great saves in the past couple of minutes. And now Zach Frank lost it, and we'll get a whistle. It's going to be a timeout call by the Hillers. Smart timeout there as Zach Frank lost it. 8:01 left to go in the fourth quarter. We have an exciting one here on senior night. It's Hopkinton 6, St. John 6 on HCAM. Continuing off the timeout in the fourth quarter, Hillers with possession. Here comes Will Abbott rushing in, looking for a shot, and that one's just wide to the left. It is picked up by Stephen Maffiori. 7:45 and counting left to go in the fourth quarter. A 6-6 score between the Hillers and St. John's on senior night. With possession, it's Connor Sullivan up the near side. Sneaks behind the net. Kicks it out to McDonald. McDonald on the corner of the crease. Ooh, he took that one to the face. Where's the flag on that? The official, I think, missed it, but that should definitely be a flag. The official was looking in the opposite direction. No flag on that one. Big break for the Pioneers. Tim LaCroix with possession. Over to Hearn, back to LaCroix. He'll feed Davidson. Now to Desso, back to Davidson. Davidson looking for the shot. Another great save. Loose ball, it's covered up by Bannon. Corey Bannon. He has been unbelievable in net during this fourth quarter. And he has possession coming way out. He lost it. He better get to it quick. And he's tied up with a couple of Pioneers. All kinds of body checking going on. And we're going to have a whistle.
That was kind of funny.
We had a big pile going for the ball. Well, at least this will give up an opportunity for Corey Bannon to get back in net. That's a big risk, Alex, coming that far out of the net.
Absolutely. It was very concerning. As you just saw, the goalie loses the ball, and it's absolutely free for the other team to just take advantage.
Pioneers will have it. Here they go. Looking for a shot here. Thought about it over to Donahue. Now LaCroix. That is off the net of Bannon. Another tremendous save. Corey Bannon denying everything that comes his way in the past few minutes. Some tremendous saves. Another shot here wide to the left goes Owen Boss. Hillers are going to have this one. Nice job by Corey Bannon rushing out of the net to get to that back line.
It's really going to come down to the next couple minutes of who can get a goal, because it is the last of this quarter.
Well, right now in the possession battle, it is certainly St. John's winning it because they are putting the pressure on, but Corey Bannon single-handedly keeping this game tied. Over to midfield he goes. Andrew Paleko trying to pick it up, flips out of his net. Getting there in time is McDonald. Here comes the Hillers on the attack. With possession, it's Zach Frank. 5:30 and counting left to go in the fourth. Over to Abbott along the far side. Will Abbott met with some contact, able to get around a couple Pioneers. He lost it. Pioneers have it. Here comes Tim LaCroix. Look out. LaCroix into midfield, into the attacking zone he goes.
Hillers have to hustle here.
Loose ball as Donahue lost it briefly. He is able to scoop it up towards the back line. Now below 5 minutes left to go. Sneaking around the net. Some good pressure by Gaudreau. Feeds it across over to Boss. Picked up on the far side by Boss. He'll feed Anastasi. Luke Anastasi, pass over to DeFlumery. DeFlumery trying to sneak in, goes behind the net. In possession, it's Jack Donahue. Donahue shakes Gaudreau, but could not get the shot off. Back to the blue line, over to Hearn. Now with possession, that's Desso. Desso looking for the shot here.
Great save.
And another great save by Corey Bannon, getting that net down. And now it's still loose in front of the net,
People
in the danger zone.
falling into the goal circle.
Hillers somehow come away with it with possession, Montefiore, but we're going to have a whistle. I don't know what happened there. Big pile in front of the net. It looked like it went off of somebody and it just got kicked up, and Montefiore was able to sneak away with it. And the official is saying it that the Pioneers have possession. So it looks like St. John's is going to hold on to it. 4:01 left to go in this fourth quarter. Hillers 6, St. John's 6. It's coming down to crunch time here on senior night.
Really, whoever gets the next goal could walk away with the win from this game.
I would certainly agree with that assessment. Pioneers going to start off on the far side with possession. Tegan Callahan with the double team in front of them, lost it. We get a whistle, but St. John's got the smart timeout call in time to keep possession. Nice job by the Pioneers getting that one in. 3:58 left to go. It's Hopkinton 6, it's St. John's 6. You're tuned into Boys Varsity Lacrosse Senior Night on HCAM. Off the timeout, continuing on in the fourth quarter, the St. John's Pioneers with possession. 6-6 score. 3:52 and counting left to go. Tim LaCroix has the ball. Pass over to Colin Desso. Now along the far side, Owen Boss. Back to Desso. Desso trying to rush in, looking for a shot. Wide to the right. St. John's will keep possession. Jack Donahue near that back line. Clock stopped at 3:33. Donahue comes into the field of play. Trying to sneak around Gaudreau. Feeds it across, and a beauty. Great assist from Jack Donahue. Fed Owen Boss, and Boss fed the net. It's 7-6 St. John's. 3:23 left to go. That is the second goal for the sophomore, Owen Boss.
Goal scored by number 24, Owen Boss.
7-6 Pioneers, their first lead in quite a while. Well, that one's just a tough one to try to save, Alex. I don't think you could fault the goaltender too much there.
No, absolutely not. It was a great shot.
Hillers need to come away with this. It's loose. Swiped in the air a number of times. Hillers trying to establish control of the shot. It's a goal! Zach Frank scoops it out of the air, swipes it right into the back of the net. It's 7-7. 3:08 left to go, and we're tied back up.
That was amazing. This is going to be really intense in a minute.
Strap in your seatbelts, folks. First goal of the night for Zach Frank could not have came at a better time. Hillers with control. Andrew Poleko dropped it briefly, picked up by Zanini. Some contact along the sideline, and it looks like St. John's has the steal. Tim LaCroix crosses midfield. Less than 3 minutes left to go in regulation. Both of these teams playing as if this was a postseason match. And this is certainly a great way to get ready for the postseason with a tough matchup on both sides like this. As LaCroix is able to feed it back to the blue line. Along the far side is Boss, and as Boss tries to get it into the interior, we have a Hiller down, and that'll draw the whistle. Injury on the field. That's Tyler Zanini being tended to by some of his teammates. The trainer's going to come out and check on him. We certainly hope he is okay. 2:32 left to go. It is the Hillers 7 and the St. John's Pioneers 7. And we'll take a break with an injury on the field. You are tuned in to Hillers Boys Lacrosse on HCAM. Tyler Zanini being helped off the field. He appears to be walking A-OK under his own power, which is certainly a good sign. 2:32 left to go in regulation. The Hillers and St. John's Pioneers tied at 7 apiece. St. John's will have the ball towards the attacking zone. Tim LaCroix will start off with possession. Here we go. Hillers need to defend here. LaCroix trying to get around Sullivan. Feeds it over that reach of Colin Desso, and the Hillers will have it. Hunter Gaudreau will take it into play. 2:11 and counting left to go. Over to midfield is Zach Frank. A beauty of a pass from Gaudreau. Surrounded by Pioneers, all kinds of contact. We get a whistle. Smart timeout by the Hillers. 2:02 left to go in regulation. Hopkinton 7, St. John's 7. Both teams are going to talk things over, and we will come back and play the final 2 minutes. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers Boys Varsity Lacrosse on HCAM. 2:02 left to go in regulation. The Hopkinton Hillers 7, the St. John's Pioneers 7. Off the timeout, Hillers will have it. Will Abbott has the ball in the midfield circle, and we are underway. Can one of these teams emerge with a victory here tonight? It's been back and forth all night long. Luke McDonald around the net. Over to the near side. Dropped by Zach Frank, but he's quick to pick it back up. 1:40 and counting left to go. Hillers are not going to try to rush a shot. They want to find the right opportunity. Fiore around the net, over to McDonald. And that is just wide to the left by Zach Frank. And he was disappointed with himself on that one. It is going to be Hillers' possession. Abbott.
This is a really difficult match. Both teams just squaring up against each other right now.
They certainly are. The shot, and it's denied. Big save by Cam Hearn. I believe that was Jack Howard on the attempt.
1 minute remaining.
The 1 minute warning has come in. And as St. John's rushes up, they're going to call a timeout and talk some strategy. 55 seconds left to go. It's Hopkinton 7, St. John's 7. It's Boys Varsity Lacrosse Senior Night on HCAM. 55 seconds left of regulation. The St. John's Pioneers have possession. We are tied up at 7 off the timeout. This has been a tremendous game here tonight. Very well played by both teams. A whole lot of fun to watch. As Desso. Over to LaCroix, now back to Desso. Now LaCroix. LaCroix trying to rush in. Over to Davidson. I'm sure St. John's would like LaCroix to try to get the shot off. He's just a sharpshooter. And he's looking for one right here. The shot, it's a goal. Tim LaCroix, the go-ahead goal for St. John's. It's 8-7 with 26 seconds left. The Hillers pretty much need to win this possession to have a chance to tie it up. A big goal there by the St. John's sharpshooter, Tim LaCroix, his 3rd goal of the game.
This is going to be a really exciting next 30 seconds.
Big time face-off here. Andrew Paleko, Rob McNamara. Here we go. The fans getting into it. An electric atmosphere here at Hopkinton High School. St. John's has it. A big win in the center circle by McNamara. We'll get a whistle. Hillers are going to have it.
20 seconds left. Can they do this?
I believe it was an offsides there as Will Abbott up the near side. Abbott, a couple Pioneers around him. 13 seconds left. He's tripped up. Still has the ball. To his feet. Into the attacking zone. Leaves it out. Out in front. Denied by the goaltender, and it was knocked up in the air a couple times by Paleko. We have a whistle. Hillers are going to have possession. 3 seconds left. It's really either just run and shoot or pass and shoot. Will Abbott has the ball. I think Abbott's just going to run in and try to snipe a shot. You don't really even have time to pass.
This should be interesting.
Just trying to snipe the shot through, and that's going to do it. The St. John's Pioneers are going to come away with a very hard-fought 8-7 win over the Hopkinton Hillers. St. John's improves to 13-4. Hillers fall to 10-7. But what a tremendous night by both of these teams. A tremendous game and a whole lot of fun to watch. And you couldn't ask for a better matchup on senior night. Of course, things didn't go the way the Hillers would like, but it was certainly a very well-played game. For Alex Walton, I'm Tom Nappy. We are going to send it to the senior night festivities right now here at David M. Hughes Stadium. We thank you for joining us for this broadcast of Hopkinton Hillers Boys Varsity Lacrosse. The senior night festivities coming up next. Stay tuned.
Okay, good evening everyone, and welcome to Hillers Lacrosse 2018 Senior Night. After just having watched a terrific game, we're here now to honor the seniors and their families who've done so much for this program over the last 4 years. First, we'd like to thank the senior managers, Freya Proudman and Katie Hamlin. Let's give it up for the managers. Now we'll recognize the Hiller Lacrosse seniors. First of all, number 12, Gabe Rocha, who's unable to be here tonight. Give it up for Gabe. Next we have number 4, defenseman Patrick Murphy, joined by his parents Allison and Jim and brothers Connor and Blake. Next, number 9, Hunter Clark, joined by his mother Natasha and sisters Ava and Isla. Next is number 23, Jack Howard, joined by his parents Will and Terry, brother Will, sister Elizabeth, and grandmother B.A. Howard. Now for the captains. First up, number 17, Captain DJ Sloan, joined by his parents David and Terry and brother Jack. Next, the man who needs no introduction, number 22, Captain Will Abbott, joined by his parents Ray and Tanya and his sister Madison. And last, but certainly not least, the hard-hitting leader of the defense, number 91, Captain Hunter Goodrow, joined by his parents Jim and Maureen. Great job to all the seniors, and go Hillers.